Hey everyone, you're listening to Another Way Around, episode 35. I'm John Azalona from the AwayCast here. With me is Gregg Andrew Della Rocca.
Hi there.
Hey, Gregg, how's everything, pal?
All right. Really
Pally, old buddy, old pal.
Really good.
I'm also joined via satellite TV,
uplink.
Ion Cannon, by Mr. Josh Hinkey from Chicago.
What up, y'all?
Oh, Ray Romano's here.
What's that?
Oh, no.
I don't know if that. I guess that is a Ray Romano.
This is a podcast from the 90s.
What's that?
I feel gross.
Ray Romano and funny Bud Light commercials.
We're gonna get a cease and desist from Ray Romano. I don't like that.
Dooby. How's that for the 90s?
That's good.
So what's up, fellas? Haven't talked to you guys in a while. Gregg, how's everything going?
Good.
Just
Very
good?
I got a new pair of sunglasses.
Oh, Gregg did get a new pair of sunglasses. How are those sunglasses? Let me see them. Do you
They're
have
right
them?
there. They're right there, up on the speaker, right in front of you, top right,
Next to the Buddha.
next to the Buddha with the drum.
Buddha's got a drum. These are pretty sweet.
They're good. They're fully polarized.
They got the P on them for polarized.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I got them from.
Yeah, that's good. You must have paid a fortune.
Actually.
Wow, look at that. Made in Italy. Polarized.
Mm-hmm.
Got the Ray-Ban symbol right there. Geez, Gregg, these are some good glasses.
Listen,
how much could these have possibly cost you?
Listen. Before we pass judgment on one another, let me just preface this by saying the service at is terrible. Okay, there's only one person working there.
Oh, okay. So this was a case of neglect and run.
It's if anything, it's their fault. What I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
I walked in. I said, "You know what? I deserve a nice pair of sunglasses. It's summertime, and my eyes, they deserve
was Mother's
to be
Day?
shielded.
It was Mother's
It was
Day?
Mother's Day. I deserve something.
You figure it's Mother's Day. I might as well get myself a pair of
I
sunglasses.
need a little something.
And I'm going to go in and I'm going to pay for them. That was your intent.
Yes. So
I'm trying to make you appear innocent
right.
in the
So
in the
I
beginning.
went in there and I saw right away. I said, I like these. These look good on my face. The polarization is life changing. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
Wow, huh?
The girl comes over and she goes, "Do you need any help, sir?" And I said, "In a few minutes, not right now."
Oh, so she asked you if you needed help.
Wow. I said, "In a few minutes." And
Okay,
she
okay.
walked away. A bunch of other people came in the store. And then I went to go, I was probably going to go ask her,
Probably going to go? You're using a lot of weak
trying
words
to
here,
figure
Gregg.
out
It's a lot of
the
weak...
price or something. And I said, you know what? There's only one person working here. I'm just going to walk out of the store with them on my face and see what happens.
And what happened?
Nothing. I walked out and I got free sunglasses, $200 sunglasses for free.
Oh,
Walked
man.
right out of the store.
You know what's great?
I did freak out though as I got, because like in where I bought them, you have to cut through like the food court to get to where I was parked, like behind and like secret parking.
Here is a shopping mall, everyone.
And as I got inside, the adrenaline kicked in. And
the adrenaline kicked in.
I started running. I was like knocking little kids over down the hallways to the bathroom. Like, I gotta go.
The klepto fuel.
I couldn't find my keys. I was like by the car, like I can't find the keys. And as soon as I got in the car and closed the door, I was like, ah!
You win.
Oh yeah, I won.
You don't think you're on a list somewhere?
It doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
I'm like, what's the list gonna be? Is it a picture of me? I'm not going back there. I already got good
No,
glasses.
it's going to be an accumulation of everything you've stolen over all the years.
It's impossible to that list. There's not enough paper. There's not enough trees.
Would you consider
We'd suffocate?
Would you consider yourself a klepto?
No. What I would do is I would. This all started from as a young man watching movies like Ocean's 11, and I said, you know what?
You weren't that young. Ocean's 11.
I can fuck the system a little bit. I'm pretty smart. I know how to trick people. And the worst part is I'm trustworthy. People trust me for some reason right off the bat. I come off very trustworthy. And
you mean in a retail environment?
Any environment.
Are you trying to sell yourself on this podcast as a conniving thief?
I don't need to, because you know firsthand that I am one, and that
Josh, come on, help me, chime in. This is like we have to help this kid.
No help is necessary.
You're never gonna help him.
There's no help is not necessary.
If
anything, you guys need help to get on my level, because I am making out like a goddamn king.
No way.
I'm working the system for me.
What happened when you worked at Best Buy?
Listen, that's how you learn. It's baby steps.
You make some mistakes.
It's
right?
baby steps, and that's how you learn.
Break a couple eggs.
Like I'm doing okay.
And I'm surprised you don't like you didn't play any thieving kind of games.
I do.
You do like to play sneaky and like
I'm a sneak in
Fallout.
No, and Skyrim. Fallout, it depends. I do completely like one-sided characters.
Do you steal in Fallout when you play Fallout? Like,
if I'm a bad character, then yeah, I steal everything.
Oh, so you're saying in real life you're a bad character?
No, because the thing is, I steal from people. I don't steal from like.
You're like Robin Hood, right?
Yeah, kind of. But,
you steal from the rich and give to yourself.
Yeah.
This is not exactly right.
But I'm not like taking from people. I'm taking from corporations, and I'm not taking from people who are gonna feel this.
Right.
Okay. Is not going to declare bankruptcy now because they lost a pair of fucking sunglasses that are probably marked up 3,000%. And the food I take when we go to conventions, no one even knows that food existed. I'm taking that food, and when we went to when I took the microphone from the Nintendo booth, like that whole thing, they don't even know that mic was there. It was on the friggin' floor,
Let me know what you want to beep out when this podcast is over,
Nothing.
Greg.
I have nothing to hide. There's nothing that... So what? What are you going to do? Who's going to do what?
I don't know. Probably nobody.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Can I get in trouble for saying I stole the sunglasses from?
No.
Someday, Greg. I hope that you're like walking along. You're just like in a mall or something like that, and you turn and you see like a store that you've completely forgotten about, and there's like a pencil drawing of you sitting on the window, being like, "Don't admit this." Like, but I hope that it's from when you had the beard and you no longer have the beard,
and I get
or vice versa.
And I get something,
and you just kind of smile to yourself, and you're like, "They're never gonna catch me." One step ahead of them. That's where you got to stay.
Well, like they should make a full-length feature film about Gregg who steal. Like, they would normally do a film about somebody like Danny Ocean in Ocean's 11 or something like that, where they steal like famous pieces of art, like Entrapment.
My stuff's a little different.
And then Gregg goes in and like steals like a hot dog, and like you make it like a fucking spy movie. Like, listen, I don't have the budget for lunch.
Yeah,
we have to go in. We have to devise a plan.
I get 11 people to help me get the hot dog.
You distract the toothless 72-year-old woman at the register. Gregg, go.
I wanted to turn it, but it like starts as Ocean's 11, but I wanted to take that like Catch Me If You Can twist, where like eventually he like there's like one really shitty cop whose job is to try and track down Gregg. He like lives in New York, and he's just like Gregg's always one step ahead of him. He's never gonna find him.
His walls are just painted
Catch Me If You Can is like
me.
an FBI agent, but this guy's just like a beat cop.
It's just.
He's got pictures on his walls of like Gregg, and then like
they have like the lines, like the string
attaching stuff.
Trying to like figure out like pinpoint my next.
It's like Gregg, and then string to a salad that he stole at PAX, and stringing to.
I'll probably bleep out the place that I took the glasses from. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I thought the other one was a little more.
The Nintendo thing?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, it's a Nintendo guy gonna call us.
Dude, they're hurting for money right now.
Nintendo, you hurt for money because you leave $800 microphones on the floor at your. So
someone's gonna call you and they're gonna be like, "Look, don't return the microphone. Just buy a Wii U and we'll call you."
All right. So, Josh, you had a chance to play some games this week. Greg, actually, you did too.
Yeah.
So did I. Josh and I played a mutual game, one that was looked forward to for a while. Josh, you actually saw a little bit at PAX East, and you weren't too excited about it, but I'm curious to hear your take, which was Ubisoft's Child of Light.
Yeah, I was mildly excited for Child of Light, and I like a lot of things about it. I think that it's a bit of an uneven game.
Right.
I really I enjoy what it was trying to do, but I don't feel like it executed on its greater vision.
You don't think that it? I think it totally fulfills. First of all, the art style is its draw, right?
Art style is great.
The art style is almost a 10 out of 10 in this game. It's fantastic. Everything's watercolor. Looks like it. That aesthetic anyway. It's definitely the draw of the game. But they attempt an old school turn-based RPG. And
wrapped in a storybook like package, which I thought was really good.
See, did you like the rhyming, the forced rhyming?
No, well, the forced rhyming doesn't bother me so much, but it gets out of meter. Like it'd be like
it's awkward, right? Greg,
I can't even do it because it's one of those things where like people are like, oh, rapping is really easy. What you do? You just rhyme 2 words at the end of it. Yo, chili and spilly. Look, I just rapped. I'm a rapper. But it's actually like keeping everything in meter. And like if you listen to some of the greats like Shakespeare or Dr. Seuss, their rhyming is like always within meter. And this game would completely break it and toss it aside at points, which is just super
The way
unnerving.
Josh explained that reminded me of like a character from Parappa the Rapper, like you had to face. The way he was like, oh, if you want to rhyme, all you gotta do is this: rhyme one word and then do a split. You know.
Come on, you could have rhymed those,
Exactly.
Greg. You're a musician. For
I didn't
God's
want
sakes.
to though.
You didn't want to.
I was done.
because people got to pay to hear your rhymes.
Yeah, yo.
Ha ha.
Look me up on iTunes, baby.
Brah, brah.
Gregzilla.
So in the game, Greg, they force kind of like that old school fable, Aesop's fable type rhyme. What's the scheme called, Josh? It's are they couplets?
They're supposed to be, I think. I mean, that's the problem is that like I don't know if he's like Shakespeare was using iambic pentameter, right?
Right.
It's but up, but this guy is Patrick or not Patrick Laird. Jeffrey Yohallam is all over the place, and like it sucks because I think the story in and of itself is a good story.
So then what's the big fucking deal, guys? Because you don't like the rhyming?
No,
it's going to bring
listen.
the art style's a 10 out of 10, but the rhyming is like, whoa!
It breaks the story though, because the story seems good, and what you take from it, you can kind of muster a story in your head of what they were trying to attempt. But like the way the characters interact with each other is through this rhyming shit. And like as you start to say the rhyme yourself, you're like, oh, ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. And then they totally break the format. So you're busy trying to like fit this rhyme into what you think it's supposed to be.
Is the rhyming part of the game? Like, is it?
No, it's just reading. Like it's just.
But there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
Like,
it seems
there's
like they got
a lot
So
of
let's
it.
say this game starts at 10 points, okay? And you said the art style already was a 10 out of 10, so we're still at 10 points.
for originality. It's
Okay.
great. Yeah.
So how much does the rhyme scheme drop off of that as 10 points?
I would take a point away if you want to do points.
Yeah,
One-
point or two.
1 point or
The bigger
two?
problem that I have with the game,
It's the writing.
mechanically, is that I think that like felt like the game was too easy.
Easily, yeah.
Like I hardly broke a sweat playing the thing. I never died.
Boss
which is
fights were a little tougher, obviously, but
Yeah.
the ramp from just like fighting normal enemies to fighting a boss was insane.
Yeah, and I don't know. It never struck me as something that like I was engaged in because I almost knew I was gonna win.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there were occasional fights that were a little bit challenging, but like I said, I never died and I never got close to dying. I was never sitting there going like, "Oh my god, how do I defeat this boss?"
Right.
And the other thing is that you level up all like after every battle. Basically, you're just sitting in menus the entire time, and when you're not leveling up from a battle, sitting in a menu being like, I don't know, I guess more magic, whatever. You are making these oculi things in menus, and you're just sitting there being like, okay, I have 3 of these little ones. That makes 3 of these bigger ones. And the oculi are basically your equipment. It like levels up your shielding, your weapon. It can provide special elemental powers to your weapon.
The game basically has deep ideas, but explore it very like in a shallow way.
Exactly. I mean, there's just not enough time to explore the stuff that's trying to do.
If you take something like Final Fantasy, right, it's the obvious comparison because that was, that's the RPG, or even Mario RPG or anything classic RPG. They have these crafting systems like materia, or I don't think they had one in Mario. I might be wrong though. But they go super deep with it, where you're combining rare materials and stuff. This only has 3 colors, which can maybe make 2 or 3 more, and you constantly you apply it to either your armor, your something else, or your weapon, and it doesn't feel like it does enough. It just feels like you're crafting because hey, it's an RPG, it needs a crafting system, it might help a little bit, and you're finding them so much throughout whether it be in chests or from boss battles, that like everything is so superfluous. Like you're never scrounging for anything, which is
and like in the last couple hours of the game, I was forgetting that I had stuff. Or like I'd go into a menu and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I forgot to level up a character. I have all this, these gemstones lying around.
Right.
I haven't done any of this." And yeah, I'm still killing everything. Is hardly a challenge. And so I don't like. You could try playing it on hard straight off the bat. I didn't play it on hard.
I
Maybe
heard
it's
that's the
more
difficulty
difficult that
to
way.
play on. I heard that's what you have to do.
But even still, like, and maybe that'll help the menus and stuff like that. But the game, like, whenever I play a game, trying to remain neutral, I usually go with what they suggest. Like, they're like, "Hey, this is the middle difficulty," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I like middle difficulty."
Same, right? That's the intended difficulty. Speaking of the shallowness, right? So you get multiple characters, Greg, and you played you saw a little bit of South Park, right? So
Yeah.
we have Child of Light on in the background. So see how there's 2 characters right there?
Yeah.
That's your max in the party. And then what you can do is you can swap out characters for other characters in your party. So I think that having 2 characters in a game like this and not South Park is not doing itself any favors by not offering enough of depth in combat. I think you could
But that being said, South Park did it perfectly, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. South Park is the exception. They actually accomplished that.
Yeah, and I think it's because there was tons of equipment, but it kind of felt like every time that you were, changing your character around, you were getting rewarded visually. You're like, with this, there's no visual reward. You're just swapping in fire and ice, and it doesn't do anything. Where with South Park is like, oh look, my character's wearing his underwear on his head, or he's wearing a football helmet, or he's fighting with a pink dildo.
And there were special affixes that came with that. With this, there's no equipment. Like there's no cool drops or anything. It doesn't add any elements. And my biggest problem with the entire game was the skill tree. Like it made absolutely no sense to me. Why have 4 different branches where every branch is pretty much the same exact thing? You're probably picking 2 or 3 or 4 characters tops that you cycle through. Like Finn does the magic, right? And then you have like your support class, and your tank maybe. I forgot that guy's name, but the other people are just leveling up on the side, and it's constantly flashing for you to put your points into their fucking point thing, into their skill tree point thing, right? I'm an expert in this. It just feels like it bit off way more than it can chew by choosing this genre to convey a pretty decent story.
Yeah. Well, and the way that it the redeeming factor was that I found that while incredibly easy, I found the actual combat interesting. Where you you have a meter at the bottom, and you get icons for everyone that's in combat, and those icons are getting to a casting phase. Then when they're in casting, they're actually formulating the spell or getting ready to hit. And if you attack someone while they're casting, you can interrupt them and knock them back. So basically, you can skip their turn.
Yeah, there's a
lot of cool strategy in that.
There's a timeline at the bottom of the screen that shows how close you are to your cast phase, if you can interrupt. And also, it's built on the same engine as Rayman Legends. So they kind of have that right stick thing all set up for them where you can control a secondary character, which is kind of like your support character. So during combat, you can hover over the enemies and slow them down on that timeline, or you can find these little plants on the left and the right, and you can heal. So that's one thing that's pretty good about the combat is it keeps you constantly active. There's never any waiting periods. There's plenty of ways to approach it.
And you're constantly on your feet thinking. You're trying to come up with what the next like you said, the game never stops. So you're thinking on the fly. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do this. You're acting so quickly that, you don't get that actual, like the problem, playing Final Fantasy X, for instance. You could just sit there and be like, okay, what's my next attack? What do I do
by the
next?
time, if you've played Final Fantasy 12 or whatever, you can just put that shit on AwayCast and put the controller down. So the game is definitely engaging. It's very, very beautiful, but it fell short of my expectations in terms of gameplay. I thought it would get a little more technical. So what do you think, Greg? Are you going to buy that or Super Time Force?
I don't know. I'm thinking possibly Super Time Force.
It's
Super Time Force.
Child of Light's still good. It's the story is very jovial and fun, I guess, but it's not conveyed appropriately. I mean, you heard everything we said. Anyway, so games that you have played, Gregory.
Yes.
Guys, it's I don't know if you heard, but that little game down in Kentucky came out recently. Down on the Route Zero.
Well, Kentucky.
Down on the Kentucky Route Zero.
Was it worth the wait, Greg?
I got to play through it again. I got to do a second one because.
So the first time Greg played Kentucky Route Zero, he had notebooks sprawled about. I don't know if you listened to our podcast when we talked about, but he had notebooks.
Well, hold on.
He had writing on the wall. He's like the cop that's going to chase him when he steals shit.
The first time, I didn't have any of that stuff. The first time, I just went through it, and I was like, okay, this game's good. This is fun. I like the world. I like the art style. It's kind of weird. But then I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back and play it again because I need to grasp everything because I'm not the best reader. Like I kind of just lose focus and just want to play a game sometimes. So I'll just click a lot or I'll skip stuff. Or I'll do the safe route and I'll just do the predictable speech stuff. So because I'm afraid I'm gonna fuck something up and hit and do the wrong speech path when speaking with other characters. So then I went back and played it a second time and started to notice that things were different, and I started to like really like mess with me, and I couldn't tell if it was different because it knew I was playing a second time, or if it's different because I was making different speech choices. But the coolest thing was noticing that there were moments in the game in the first two acts where you can go left or right, and if you go right, that's just what you did. And then when I went back and went left, it was something completely different, more like really awesome visuals, more awesome stories.
We're still talking about the first
two acts right now.
Two acts, okay.
And no, I'm just trying to explain to people where I'm at and why I'm going to talk about this, but I'm probably going to talk about it again on the next podcast.
Okay.
So playing that twice was super fulfilling because I got the whole picture. I got everything, and I kind of knew what was going on. Because when you play it just once, it's kind of patchy. The writing's good, but it's super cryptic and kind of weird. And they try to keep it kind of like a mystery, like you don't know where you are or about your life. You're trying to figure it out. So that being said, Act 3 came out. Super psyched about it. I played through it, and they did an awesome job on the art, on the story, on the cinematic. There's two specific parts that were just so awesome. One part, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there was one part where they did this thing with music.
You just like that,
because you run into these new characters and they're a band, and
not like the first one. Remember, when you're coming down from the house.
No, different.
That was probably my favorite part.
You hear some of their music in this also, but these two guys, they're kind of like almost like a hipster band. It's like these two characters. It's a boy and a girl.
Do you think over time, you can get into detail in a second, but do you think over time that who's the company?
Cardboard Computer Company.
Cardboard.
Right?
Do you think they're finding their stride as they go through?
I think so. I think that's why it took so long with this. I think they saw what they did and they got a great reaction. They said, you know what, we're going to try to make this really good, and we're going to we got something good here. We're going to just focus on it. And they have I looked into it. They have a couple other releases in the same vein before this, but I think this is going to start open up a whole new can of.
They're planning on 5, right?
5 acts, yeah.
I think I'm gonna go through all 5 again. I might wait on the 3rd,
so
just because I feel like I lost.
Well, I would just go back because it's gonna be hard. I feel like it's gonna be difficult to play all 5 in a row because it's a lot.
Well, maybe like one a night. I'm not gonna. I don't know. Who knows? Go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, so
I'm not waiting. I can't wait to get some time to play it. I'm very excited.
So yeah, there's some new characters that you meet, and they're pretty cool. It's like this hipster band, and they ride a motorcycle, and you get to do some speech. There's like some situations where you play sort of as them. And then there's this really cool musical thing that happens, but you'll see when you play through the game. I don't want to spoil it too much. It's just like really trippy the way they do the art and stuff. Like that, you're pretty much going to a gig to see their gig, and while they start playing, like no one's there to see the gig. It's like this little rundown bar. It's just like you. And as the gig starts, like everything changes. Like the roof comes off the bar, it becomes spacey, and they're wearing costumes. And
all right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's awesome. And then there's another moment where you're, they do a lot of. There's more stuff which I talked about in the first one about game developers in general, or making a game, or people who are creating a game or playing a game, which seems to be a constant
reoccurring
theme in this whole thing. And this happens again. This happens again, and it focuses around really the ending of this act focuses around this old computer game, a computer built to just play this one game.
Is it a callback to the first act, if I recall correctly?
No, it's different.
No,
completely different. Well, kind of different. And well, actually, you know what? They are probably related, and that's why I need to go back and play it again. But
so, without going too much further into detail about what happens in the game, did it leave you with the same feeling that 1 and 2 left you with when you finished?
You know what? This is different because when this ended, it was kind of like this was good, but I feel like 3 is kind of a hallway to the next big thing that's going to happen.
Okay, in the game. It's like, is it the dark middle chapter?
It is. That's exactly what it is. It's kind of like, it's a lot of story, a lot of weirdness. It's very dark, and I feel like the story can get depthy, and that's why I have to go back because I didn't do enough exploring with my vehicle. I'll say that.
whoa.
No. The vehicle's in the other ones as well. I mean,
Okay, so you're on the zero again.
yeah.
Okay.
You're on the zero, and there's another vehicle actually in this. That's pretty funny. You'll get there. But
hot dog, Oscar Mayer wiener.
Exactly.
Car?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
it's actually like this cool little. I'm not gonna get into it.
What's a funny car?
A Bug, Volkswagen Bug, a smart car.
That's a real car, though. I was thinking out like maybe stuff you would drive in
hamburger car
in twisted metal, like something.
The dog car from Dumb and Dumber.
There you go, mutt cuts.
Yeah. So it ends in a way that it's kind of like you kind of have your group now. It's kind of like the Fellowship, and you kind of have this group.
Oh, cool.
And you're going to the next thing, and in order to get to the next area, you're gonna have to take a barge, and that's where it kind of.
What's great? What's great about this is it makes complete sense that there's two, and then you have the post in the middle. That's the what do you say? Like the transformation into what's going to happen the next two. There's the setup. Bump set spike. There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I definitely recommend it. I'm going to play through it. I'm going to play through it again. And anyone who played the first chapter or first act, or and you didn't get it, or you had a hard time, I would play it again.
So for the art, Greg, have they deviated at all? Have they added?
No, it's the same art style, but they're obviously like going above and beyond.
Okay, they're getting better. That's good to hear.
They're making it. They're doing more, extravagant things with it, and it looks beautiful. It's great.
Greg, have you heard anything about Bound by Flame?
No.
Well, from what I take from it, Josh has played it. From what I take from it, it is kind of like Dark Souls. That's all I got.
That's good.
It's pretty good, right? So, Josh, tell me about Bound by Flame. It was not received well.
It was not received well for good reason.
Was it received by you well? Was there any redeeming factor?
It was not. It actually, so here's the thing about when you have to review a bad game. And when that, when you see a trailer.
Forget Bound by Flame, Josh. Let's just talk about what it's like to review a bad game.
Well, yeah, because this will set expectation for Bound by Flame. So when I have to do this, I see it's coming and I go, you know what though? I bet maybe it'll be good. You never know. Like Bound by Flame is action RPG, fantasy stuff. I like fantasy. I like elves and wizards and swords and flames.
Nerd.
I could. Yeah, I'm a total nerd. I'll admit it. Maybe get into this game.
You sound so humble right now, Josh. You're like, you know what, guys? I do like wizards.
And then you get it and you put it in, and it took me until the first boss fight, and I went, oh no, this is a bad game. This is a really bad game. So, and the problem with Bound by Flame is you're exactly right. It's a lot like Dark Souls. It's a lot like The Witcher, where it is kind of this, they're going for this gritty fantasy universe where, the Ice Lords are taking everything over, and humanity and elves are like down to the last stronghold.
I'm so done with that. I'm so done with that shit. I'm done with the big stories. Like, I'm done with the big stuff.
Yeah. So then you stumble into this special seance that they're doing, these mages are doing, and you get bound to this fire demon. Which isn't a terrible concept in and of itself, but the writing is god awful. It's that fantasy writing where people talk like they're still in 2014, even though they're supposed to be in the
Greg, come help me fight the dragon. YOLO.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean,
YOLO.
We can just instantly, all production value is terrible. It's all bad. None of it's good. So that is what it is. So what the game nearly gets is that it's going for this super difficult combat where an enemy takes away 2/3 of your health with one hit. It's all about trying to come up with a good strategy to take on 6 super powerful enemies. And all you have is just your sword and your shield.
A la Dark Souls, right?
Exactly. The problem is that whereas Dark Souls handles really well for the most part, Dark Souls has its clunky aspects, but when it comes to defense, Dark Souls is very upfront about it. You get a roll move, you get a dodge move. It allows you to kind of maneuver around your enemies in order to try and find the best way to take them down. That's where Bound by Flame completely drops the ball because there's no way to avoid taking damage. When you can play in 2 different stances, either you get the warrior stance with a giant 2-hand sword, or you play the rogue stance or ranger stance where you have 2 daggers. And in the warrior stance, you can block.
You hear that, Greg?
Did I hear that?
Josh,
What?
2 what?
Daggers.
Daggers?
We're picking on you for your accent.
Yeah,
again,
you're
Josh.
picking out my Minnesota accent.
Dagger.
It's
What's a couple daggers?
Gotta be careful with that one.
Dagger.
Okay, so you're fighting with two.
Daggers.
2 daggers.
Okay.
And I had a girlfriend who used to give me trouble about this.
How
all the
often
time.
would you say dagger to your girlfriend?
Well, bag is the bad one. You bag.
Oh, you say
Grab the
bag. What do you say
Say
for milk?
bag.
Do you say milk?
I say milk.
Okay. All right, continue.
So you have these daggers, and you are.
Why won't you just fix it for us? Daggers.
And I'm not getting into this. And you got to jump away. You got to dodge. You have to dodge their attacks. But the dodge button is basically broken because you can only dodge backwards. You can't roll to the side. You can't, try to roll to the front. You can only leap back, but you're leaping back from whatever you're auto targeting. So whatever you're locked onto, you're going to jump back from. But you never know exactly what you're auto targeting because there's like 6 enemies around you. So you might dodge to the left, then dodge to the right, then dodge to the left, then dodge to the right, and never actually dodge the way you want to go.
So you're constantly getting hit from all angles, and it's
Exactly.
just frustrating as hell.
Getting backed into a corner, things like that. And then a lot of the complaints that I have about Bound by Flame are similar to the ones that I have about Child of Light. Like, there is a skill tree, but it doesn't have a lot of variety to it. It just basically you can upgrade your powers. They try to do like a stealth element, but it never works. You're always caught instantly. You never can sneak up on any of these monsters or enemies.
So it's another case of a game that's trying to bite off far more than they're capable of.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like, they're really trying to give you all these different ways you can play the game. You can set traps and shoot a crossbow and craft your potions and stuff like that, but the crafting is really dumb. You just sit there and, whatever you have, you just press O until you have enough crossbow bolts, and then it's not broken, but it's super frustrating.
You played it on the PS4, I assume, right?
Yeah.
And how did it look?
No, not good.
No, not good.
There's flat textures. There's stuff actually. Some of the environmental work is so bad that it actually looked like Borderlands with that like cell shaded flat look.
And it's not meant to look that way, huh?
No, and it's supposed to be super real. And I was just like, oh man, that's terrible. It almost looks cell shaded. So
That's a shame.
Don't get it.
It's a shame. I was hoping like maybe an obscure title might impress, something like that. Like, oh, Bound by, sure.
Yeah, that's what I
music
was.
sounded
I was like,
good.
Yeah, you never know. You maybe this one's good. Maybe we just haven't heard about it because they didn't want to show anyone.
Yeah, whatever. Big pass on that one. I've passed on a lot of games so far. It seems like making that transition into current gen. I know I'm sick of using fucking buzzwords at this point, but making that transition, the transgenerational transition, right? It seems like everybody's confused, aside from major developers, right? It seems like they get caught up in the development process where they say, hey, we have to design this for the next new consoles. That's what was it? Team, is it Ninja? Who the hell was the team behind Bound by Flame? Ninja B?
It's Spiders Games.
Who's Ninja B then? Why am I thinking Ninja B? Anyway, Spiders Games, they made man, I can't think of anything for Bound by Flame.
They're also they're making the Sherlock Holmes game for Xbox One.
They came out with a title about a year ago, didn't they?
Of Orcs and Men.
Oh, really? Well, whatever. None of those interest me.
And they make They make bad Sherlock Holmes games. So.
Oh, it's odd finding a project that ambitious trying to rip features from other games and trying to make it their own. Like, granted, Dark Souls really doesn't have a competitor. I was maybe just hoping that there was something that was like Dark Souls that I could play that wasn't Dark Souls.
Well, Dark Souls also is super, like, there's story to Dark Souls, but mostly it's just about gameplay, right? Gameplay is the core of what that game's about, which is why so many people love it.
Right.
Whereas this very much has a story to tell. There are RPG elements that are pretty heavily ingrained into this game, not well, but they're there. For instance, like you have party members that you're talking to and interacting with, but The
Like-
AI is so bad they just fall over and die whenever you get into any sort of combat.
Yeah, the combat seemed really bland from what I saw.
Yeah, and the like you have dialogue choices and stuff like that, but they all suck. I didn't want to do any of them. I was like,
Pass. Big
Yeah.
pass. That sucks. I actually haven't been playing too many games recently. Can you believe that? I've been playing mostly Diablo 3. I actually got Kate to play Diablo 3 for a while, and she was playing when I wasn't home. So I knew something clicked. So she's been playing Diablo. I've been playing Diablo. A lot of my friends have been playing Diablo, which is great. But then I got an invite to Heroes of the Storm Alpha. And I put some time into that. And I have to say, I'm actually pretty pleased with what I played so far for it being an alpha.
have you done MOBAs before?
Yeah, I've played League of Legends. I never played Dota. I played League for a bit. Never got super, super competitive, but I've played with friends who are very competitive. So I knew the MOBA thing, right? What I really like about Heroes of the Storm is it takes away all of that stuff that makes MOBAs really, really stressful. Like buying items, filling out trees. It makes it more focused. Heroes of the Storm focuses much more on team interaction. So throughout the maps and stuff. So it's a typical MOBA where you're obviously looking at an isometric view of the playing field. But there's so much to do in each map. Each map has a special thing, like either gather up these souls or do something. And what it does is it gives the other team a disadvantage. So when there's an objective on the map to take, it forces combat. Like there's no jungling or anything like that. It forces combat. So when it's time to group up to collect the thing, there's a big battle and shit goes down. And that happens again and again and again until the tide pushes one way or another. Really nice seeing all the heroes come together too. Like I've been playing Uther, who's kind of like a healer, pretty easy to play. Actually, he's rated easy just because I'm still learning. But seeing Uther and Diablo and Jimmy Raynor, Blizzard has such a good thing going with their universe. There's nothing like it. It's really neat. I recommend anybody when it comes out to at least give it a try.
Do you feel like, because that's what they did with Hearthstone, right? Is they took the collectible card game motif, stripped away the garbage that really creates a barrier of entry to that stuff, and said, "Hey, now it's easy. Come in and play. Everyone, come in and play."
Right.
And now I'm finding there are a lot of people who never played collectible card games that are getting really into it. Do you feel like that's kind of what Hearthstone's or Heroes of the Storm is going for as well?
It's going to make Heroes of the Storm way more accessible than any other MOBA on the market, easily.
Yeah.
Just like they did for CCGs with Hearthstone. They add that element of like collect all the skins, and all their UI elements are super shiny and ching and this and fucking like everything's very weighted. Even the player models, there's a certain graphic quality to them that is very telling of Blizzard's art style. So everything is very refined, even in alpha stages. You're constantly unlocking stuff. There's constantly daily quests to complete. They have that you keep coming back type thing to it. And during gameplay, you're not leveling up individual anymore. You're leveling up as a team. When you're killing guys, it's not saying who killed them. It's saying your team killed them. So it's taking a lot of those elements out that people eventually begrudgingly, have to heave upon themselves when they play League of Legends or Dota or anything like that. Like they're making it fun for everyone. How I know immediately? My first game I got into, I was doing pretty well because they match make you, obviously. But people were encouraging each other. They were actually being like, "Yo, man, you go here. Well, nice shot. Like, good job." People were actually encouraging one another. I know I repeated it, but it's so with MOBAs, like that is the most disgusting, hateful community you can actually even try to get into.
Yeah, they're all a bunch of assholes,
right? Like Greg, when we first started trying to play, it's just like, what the fuck are you like? Nobody tries to help you unless you have friends. Like nobody helps.
Stop feeding.
Stay in your lane. And
feeding.
This takes away a lot of the negativity. And while it may get competitive eventually, I'm sure it already has. Honestly, there's probably higher levels of play. Without a doubt, there is. But at a starter level, you can have so much fun not knowing anything about it going into it. There's a pretty good tutorial they take you through, like I said, even for alpha. But I think it's something everybody should definitely try. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But this is the entryway to MOBAs, and you don't have to go any further than it because it's Blizzard and it's quality. Oh man, I was talking for a long time there.
That was a lot of talking.
All right, so that's video games, huh?
Yeah,
that was pretty good. We all played.
Right.
We all played a little bit of gamage there.
Video games.
I want to play Super Time Force bad, but also this week coming up tomorrow is Titanfall is releasing their Expedition DLC, which will be fun. We'll probably play Titanfall tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Greg?
definitely.
Josh, we still have yet to play Titanfall. I don't know what the fuck the deal is.
Will you add me as a friend on Xbox?
I did.
Oh, you have now?
What did I never do that?
You had not. Up until
John has a lot of friends. He has to delete people.
I have to go down
people.
from the AwayCast. I have like thousands and thousands of friend requests.
Thousands, millions.
So, Josh, when you request me, make sure you send like a personal letter, maybe a picture of you smiling, something happy.
Try and make an impression.
Make an impression. That's the whole point. It's like sending in a resume to get my friend request. Do you remember? I have like something like 112,000 gamer score. So. Just remember, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough to get it.
It's gonna be, and I'm trying to get ready for it.
Well, Gregg, if you want to ask Gregg any questions, he's on my favorites on Xbox.
Yeah,
I asked Gregg about being Xbox friends, and I was told that that's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. You're not good enough.
Well, Gregg's been friends with me for over 10 years, and I think that deserves a seat on the favorites, right?
Hey, Josh, let me ask you something, Josh. Between you and me, what's your gamer score?
It's not impressive. I honestly couldn't tell you offhand.
Yeah, what is it, Josh?
I don't play on.
What is it, Josh? Is it
play on Xbox a lot?
Is it 10,000? Is it 20,000?
It's honestly like my Xbox is right here.
Let me see. I know Josh definitely has more trophies than he has.
Xbox home.
Yeah.
Gregg's worried now that his isn't bigger than yours.
Xbox home.
Yo, is yours bigger than mine, dude?
Xbox, go home.
It's also, yeah. Right. It's not impressive. I'm sure you.
What is it, Josh? Are you afraid to say?
Listen,
Josh is afraid to say.
No,
I'm nowhere near
right
John. Now. John is like 130,000 or something like that.
I think 112,000. Right?
112,000.
Some 120.
I'm not even close to that. So.
Oh, guys, I got the biggest one, huh?
Someone's overcompensating for something. Somebody is overcompensating for something.
I heard a little. Josh, what is it? We're waiting for you. Are you tallying?
I got my Xbox right here. Let me see.
I'm on the thing online.
What's a believable number to add to this?
Where's my gamer score? Show me my gamer score.
Have you ever used an Xbox before?
It should be if you go to your.
No, I'm on the
home menu.
PC.
It should be on the.
I'm on the like PC version of your Xbox profile.
Oh.
I thought it'd be here.
Oh. Well, you can get back to us if
let us know.
If you're afraid. Maybe you want to make it a little bigger this weekend before next podcast. I understand.
No, you guys talk. I'll get it here.
Gregg's you're pretty good.
It is 19,620.
Oh, Gregg just did a fist pump.
30,497.
Ooh. All right. Well, we know the pecking order in this fucking business, huh?
But you know what? Here's the thing: I don't try to get gamer score points ever. Like I never go look for achievements.
I
ever.
do. I have OCD when it comes to that.
That's why John
shit.
has 110,000 because he.
I've let up a lot recently. I don't care as much, but if it's obtainable, I'll fucking do it. I don't know. Yeah. But Josh, you play a lot more PlayStation than Xbox
and PC.
Yeah. But you still only have one platinum, I noticed. Right?
Yeah. Because I don't do that stuff. I don't go after.
Yeah, I have a mental problem when it comes to that shit.
No, Ty's the same way. Ty loves going after trophies. He loves going after achievements. I literally I don't know. That gets in the. My biggest problem is that I hate doing stuff over again.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever I'm like, oh, I could go for this platinum or something like that. Like I'm pretty close to getting the platinum for a handful of games. Like Infamous is one that sticks out to me. And I'm just like, I don't want to play that again. I don't I know how it ends. I know what happens.
I like the added challenge of certain things. If it's like grind 10 million, kill 50 million guys, then I probably won't do it. But if it's like some kind of skill shot thing or something like beat the game on super, super hard, I'll do that. But I won't, like Gears of War, crazy shit, like seriously, I won't do those. Okay, so like I said, this week, Titanfall. Tomorrow is Titanfall. I don't know if there's any achievements coming with that, but they're releasing 3 new maps. We talked about it on the PAX Cast version 2, I believe. So that's coming out. Next week, we have 2 huge titles dropping also. Wolfen... What's this? What is it, Greg? Some Jewish game? The Jewish game?
It's that Jewish game, Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein?
Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein.
Oh, hey, this is Wolfenstein. This is Morty Wolfenstein.
Hi, I'm Marty Wolfenstein.
Hey.
And I just don't understand this game. It's fun, but what's the point? I mean, if you're just gonna shoot people,
Listen,
why
Marty.
not play different games?
Listen, Marty.
Yeah,
we're
what?
we're happy to have you here. Just tell us your story so we can write it down.
I told you already. I just came in here from my job, and I just wanted to talk about this Wolfenstein game. I think it's not good for people to play games about the Holocaust.
It's got your name on it. Well, you told us.
It's a very popular Jewish name, and that's why a lot of people are going to be very upset when they get a hold of this game. They're not gonna be happy. I'm telling you that now.
I feel like your Jew is very. You're very excited, right?
It's just I have a lot to say.
I feel like Morty Wolfenstein would be like, oh, hey, this is Wolfenstein. Like, ooh, maybe I'm like your brother who's a little. Are we making fun of Jews?
Marty, no. We're not making fun of Jews. It's just it's just a stereotype, okay? Oh, Mushka. You can't.
Mushka.
It's like the Woody.
Yeah,
Allen
I was doing a Woody
stereotype
Allen.
you're really
I was doing a Woody Allen Jew.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Morty, sit down. Tell us your story about Wolfenstein.
I can't right now, okay? I can't really talk about stories. I just gotta go.
Josh, you played Wolfenstein. You played
Wolfenstein.
You played Wolfenstein at PAX East, and you were excited about it, right?
Yeah, it's really funny. I've actually tamed down a little bit, just probably because it's been a while since I played it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm still very much looking forward to it.
Cool. I'm excited to see it next week too. I'll probably actually get it on Xbox just because it's a shooter. I prefer that there. And then we got Transistor coming out, which by Supergiant, which is a very, very much anticipated title. It's the people who brought Bastion to life. And Greg, you got to play Bastion. Like, you have to. You must.
Yeah, I know. I got to do a lot of things, Sean.
Yeah. Maybe you should steal Bastion and play it.
You can't steal digital products.
Can you buy Bastion on a hard
No,
disk?
there's no real world Bastion.
Can I get
what
the
you
cassette
could do
tape?
is you could steal Xbox Live cards from your
Points
local.
cards.
From your
Let me
local
tell you
Gamma
about that.
stop.
I will do that.
There you go.
Oh.
I'm going to set up a whole big operation.
Dun, 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 dun,
What you do is you
dun,
get the
dun,
cards,
dun, dun,
you slip them
dun,
under your
dun,
stolen
dun,
sunglasses,
dun,
like
dun,
put them, tuck
dun,
them
dun,
behind.
dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun,
I was thinking I would pay a homeless person to go into the store and fake a heart attack.
How much are you?
Why are you gonna pay him as much as it costs to take
No,
a
I'm
thing?
not.
Greg,
I'll
you
give
are
him-
not-
I'll give him
you can't
$10.
break even on your steal. You
Listen,
can't pay them as much
I'll
as
give
the
him
cards are
I'll
worth.
give him $10 and I'll steal like $500 worth of
Homeless
Xbox
guy.
cards.
$500. That could act well. That probably wouldn't put a GameStop.
And then the
out
homeless guy gets arrested. Like, why are you feigning a heart attack, homeless man? Actually, he'd probably like to get arrested. You know,
Yeah, nice.
three square meals.
Nice warm place to sleep.
Taking my tax money. He's taking my tax
I just
money.
think that prisons are stupid. You know, they're very silly. If you're gonna take a man off the streets, you might as well give him a job or something like that. There's
No.
plenty of stuff to do down here in the warehouse district. I don't understand really.
I
But-
appreciate all your opinions.
Prison's a luxury. That's all I'm saying. Everyone should just get a job. You know, just get a job.
Big news this week. Greg, I have no support in my
I
fucking
don't-
news song
you know
right
why?
now. I have zero support in my new song.
You gave no. You just went right into it without even like.
Dun, 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 dun.
right.
Try again. Ready? We've been trying. I want to add a damn news thing.
Stop stomping on the floor.
What? I'm not. I'm hitting it with my hand.
Don't hit with your hand.
Oh, goodness. All right. So the fucking news. Here we go. The only news story we're going to cover is that Microsoft is going back on their promise for constantly keeping Kinect with their Xbox and releasing a much cheaper Xbox without a Kinect. So
Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
the news. So Microsoft announced, actually Phil Spencer announced on his blog through with a couple of other announcements.
What is this? How does this affect me as a gold member? I feel like this is just it just helps out people who aren't gold members.
Okay, listen.
What do I get?
So first,
No, you're right. It doesn't help me.
First. New Xbox, no Kinect, $399.
That's stupid.
Starting June 9th, which is their day of their E3
You're gonna
conference.
end up just buying the Kinect eventually anyway, because you're gonna realize how much better it is with the Kinect.
They haven't announced how much the Kinect is going to cost when they sell it in the fall.
It's gonna cost $90. No, it's gonna cost $100. What am I saying? It's gonna cost $99.
The original Kinect was like $120, I think.
Well,
Was it really? I thought because I mean, you can buy the
Well, not
lesser
now.
PlayStation camera for like 60, can't you?
When it first came out, it was 120.
if you're gonna buy an Xbox One, don't be an idiot and buy it for $100 cheaper. Work an extra week, buy it with the Kinect.
Are there still people that think that that camera's spying on you and like? Remember when they first announced it?
Just cover it up if you're worried about it. But the voice thing, you don't realize how great it is until you have it.
Right. When I came over before, Greg wanted to check out Super Time Force.
I don't even turn my controller on. I think I put AA batteries in my controller, and they've been in there since I got the thing. Like you know.
You heard it first from Greg De La Rocca. Also, I think we'll talk about it in a second. But the other announcements, you no longer need to be a Gold member, Xbox Live Gold member, to watch Netflix and Hulu and participate in a bunch of other pay subscription stuff. So you don't need to like double pay, basically. So that's good, right?
What do I get? I'm a Gold member.
Nothing. Now you want something, right?
Maybe I'll cancel my Gold membership now.
Oh, because all you do is watch Netflix and Hulu on your Xbox?
No, I play games, but I want to get at the man a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I want to show him that I should get more
And
stuff.
if you do so, they will refund you now.
Yeah, if you go back on your payment and they're like, oh, I only paid for it for Netflix, they will refund you for your Xbox Live.
Really?
There you go, and then you steal money.
Wait, can I just say that and then just...
No, but then you'll lose Xbox Live and then you won't be able to play games online with your friends.
But will they repay me for my whole year of Xbox Live or just for a month?
Well, it starts in June. That's when this new thing starts. Or did Netflix start now? Is Netflix
well, actually,
currently
there's a thing on Xbox when you turn it on that says there's some changes. I don't know if it means immediate.
So maybe that started now. So maybe but they're not starting the Kinectless Xbox One until June.
Right. And like I said, not till fall will they sell the Kinect separately. I posted an article, a little quick thing yesterday. And the last announcement is they're bringing games with gold to Xbox One finally. So 2 free games next month on Xbox One, 3 on Xbox 360. So a total of 5 games.
That's good. I do get something.
5 games, right? So
I do get something.
You get on Xbox One next month. You get Spartan Assault finally for free.
Yeah, finally. I've been waiting to play Spartan Assault.
Yeah. I enjoyed that game for what it was worth. The co-op was fun. And you also get Max Curse of the Brotherhood. Max something Curse of the Brotherhood. Isn't it just Max?
Wait, Curse of the Brotherhood?
Yeah, Curse of the Brotherhood. It's that game where you have
the
to
other
like
game you've been waiting to play.
You draw with a pencil and stuff. If it's free, I'll play it. Whatever.
That looks because you got to use. Don't you have to use the Kinect for that game to work?
No, use the right stick.
Oh.
And then on Xbox 360, I believe it's Dark Souls for free.
Port it over. I want that for free.
Yeah. Street Fighter, one of the Street Fighters, and some other game that I don't care about.
God, why can't they just port all the games over?
Why?
I just want to play all the old games.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you think you still there, Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you guys think it's a good move for Xbox? Not so much obviously, I think it's a good move for them to offer another option. I already have friends on Facebook after I posted the article that they're like, well, I guess I'm going to get an Xbox now. And a few of our buddies on Twitter, Josh, in our conversations kind of, came to the realization and said that the price point is what's going to get people back on Xbox. The fact that PlayStation was $100 less.
But it's stupid. It's people are dumb if they're going for this. Like,
Well-
really, $100? That was your make or break, was $100?
To some people, that matters.
You
I
know,
guess.
it matters, but you're going to end up, you're losing out on a huge feature of this console. A huge feature is gone.
No, I agree with that entirely.
You're
but-
going to end up probably end up paying more to get it later. If you just buy the freaking bundle, it comes with Titanfall.
Yeah.
Just buy the friggin' bundles.
I think at some point, a lot of people probably thought it was principle in the beginning. Like,
That's
I'm
stupid. That's misinformed people. It's worth $500. It's worth the price of a computer. Because I'll tell you right now, I have friends who got PCs and I'm watching them play games and they all run like shit. No one has the right specs. You got to upgrade all your cards all the time. Upgrade your processor. Not enough memory. Too many hard drives. Always fucking something wrong with it.
Start the fire.
Here we got.
It was always burning.
Here we got a fucking console that everything runs perfect on. When you put the game in, it's perfect every time. It's a media machine. It listens to your voice almost perfectly. It is worth it. It has HDMI input. You can watch TV. It's fucking worth.
What about for people who already have a PlayStation though?
What about people who are at PlayStation?
And they want both.
It's worth it. This is better. This media center is better than the PlayStation 4 media center. As a media center, as a media device. If
Okay.
you want the Xbox to play games with your friends, that's good. But now you also have a better home media center as well. Not to mention the voice shit is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was a gimmick at first, I thought, but it's great. I live by it. I talk to my computer all day.
Your Xbox.
The Xbox. I talk to it all day and all night.
Yo,
Okay, but so here's the thing, right? This is why they did this, is because, like, and we have nothing solid to say here, but obviously the Xbox One has been underselling. It has to have been missing projections. Like, this didn't just pop out of nowhere.
Right.
And, like, you know, PlayStation has been releasing their numbers, Xbox has been releasing sold through stores, whatever that means, right? But in the end, something must have happened that made them say, we're not moving as many of these units as we think we should be, so we're removing this feature.
Right.
So, my thing is, like, do I think people should buy a Xbox without the Kinect? I don't know. It depends what you're looking for. Some people don't want the media stuff. They just don't care about it. Like, they like their setup. They have their setup. You know, they don't want to talk to their Xbox, what have you. It's totally fine. But the problem that I run into is that even if you're going to cut the Xbox down and you're trying to now compare it to PlayStation at, you know, both of these things $399, I think Gregg does have a point, because you're getting, when you buy the PlayStation 4, you're not getting the PlayStation 4 Lite, right? You're getting the PlayStation 4. This is how it's designed. This is how it runs. And if you buy the camera for the PlayStation 4, it's a bonus. But now if you are getting the Xbox, you are missing a piece of the functionality, right? Like, I mean, we've seen that dashboard. You have to use your voice to navigate that dashboard. It is not something that's very conducive.
It's
to
absolutely
a control.
optimized to use with a Kinect. Everything.
It's part of the final product. This is the full product. It is the Kinect is a huge part of this product. I know a lot of gamers don't like that because they're like, it's a gaming system. I just play games. I don't need a camera. But they're doing a lot of. I mean, in the future, that camera might become a way more vital part of gaming. You don't know that yet because it is incredibly powerful.
Well, that's like what's happening. Sony finally said that the reason that we have the camera and the PS Move integrated into the controller is for Morpheus. Like, that was the point of that.
And that's going to happen with what's the name of the Microsoft one? Did they have a name for that yet?
No, I don't think they announced one.
They did. I thought they said they're working on something as well.
They might have. I didn't hear anything. I don't think I heard anything about it. It's probably obvious that they are.
All right.
They're just not as hardware heavy as Sony, but.
Right, but but even the video you showed me today, the altered reality,
that was so cool.
It's using 3 Kinect cameras for that.
Yeah, just to see.
In the end, you know, like, you know, we talked about this when they decided they were going to change their policy on digital and everything back, you know, shortly after E3, when they changed their initial policies and future of Xbox. The problem that I have with this is that I feel like Microsoft is looking at what they've done, looking at what Sony's done, and said, we want to sell what they're selling. Let's do what they're doing. This box is becoming more and more like the PlayStation 4 and less like the Xbox we heard about.
Right. So,
you know,
my main question, Josh, kind of the culmination of all of this, the point I was trying to get at in the beginning was, and what the article I wrote was based on, was basically, is is Xbox kind of taking a knee here and saying, listen, we knew we were super ambitious with our Kinect and we thought it was something great, and we were super ambitious with our Always Online and we thought that would have been something great, and they're going, but like, you know what, the consumer is right. And do we consider that kind of them taking a bow or taking a knee and being like, okay, let's just, like you said, make it more like what people are buying? Or should they try to stay steadfast in their position for reinventing something or innovation?
I mean, in the end, I guess that's Xbox or Microsoft's call, right? Like, they're the ones who can determine that. It's, when we were talking about this on Twitter, my point was that when the PlayStation was getting their asses kicked, and yes, the PlayStation knocked its price down to something that was more affordable, I don't think it happened as quickly and as titanically as some people would like to think. But I also would say that they created, the way PlayStation really got themselves back in the game is they created initiatives that brought people to Sony and made the PlayStation seem like a more appealing console. Like PlayStation Now is, a very cool title. They went out and made sure their first party games were really, really important and a focal part of their console. They started an independent initiative, which proved that they were super into independent games. And Xbox still has, whether it's true or not, a problem with perception where people basically go, do you like Halo, Gears of War, Fable? And then after that they say, and it doesn't play indie games, and it doesn't, and the Xbox Gold still isn't comparable to PlayStation Plus. These are perception problems. And I think actually the biggest thing they did was removing the paywall to Netflix and Hulu. I think that's actually an important thing for them. And
so do you
I think they need more ideas like that. And that's why Phil Spencer actually is doing a good job. I think he's trying to get them back to a point where they can start making other decisions and try to grow that business in a way that will actually try to make them the focal console of this generation again.
Based on their decisions following suit of PlayStation, basically in almost each and every way, I think there's going to be a reclamation of kind of the same principles that Sony adopted in combating Xbox in the first place, right? I think they're going to, look at games with gold, PS Plus, same benefits, right? Look at, now Netflix and Hulu's free, right? Now look at their, DRM free. They're making all these decisions to kind of follow suit. And I think, it's going to be, like you said, it's kind of flatlining. I like to see the innovation because it generates competition, right? Because the Kinect, whether people like it or not, it is a very successful innovation in technology, allowing something to be that affordable and that powerful. Whether or not it's something, completely revolutionary, it's taking the necessary steps to reach a certain level, right? Like Gregg, the thing we watched, if you guys haven't seen it, maybe I'll post the video or something, but there's this video of this guy using an Oculus it's probably an Oculus because of the dev kit, but he's using 3 Kinect cameras to capture his body from outside the Oculus and import his body into this 3D world. So there is very, very little latency between him moving in real life and him moving in this virtual world. The fidelity is not that great because it's the Kinect 1.0 from Xbox 360. But that looks sick, right, Gregg?
Yeah, it looked ridiculous. Like, for just some guy doing it, if they nail it down. I was just thinking about how, they're going to use this with Oculus, like in a social way, like at concerts and sporting events, all that shit. You're going to be able to like walk around the field and stuff. It's just nuts.
You can actually, he said it's very odd. There's a point where he puts his leg through the table leg, right? And he's like, this is really odd.
It's like an out of body experience.
Yeah, but things like that are what push innovation. Motion controls. We all laughed at the Wii waggling shit, but the Nintendo kind of pioneered the motion control thing, and now we have these cameras which spawned from that, and we have one for one tracking, which we got from Sony Move, right, or PlayStation Move. So all these things are finally starting to come together into what I think is going to be something revolutionary over the next few years. So either way you look at it, I think Dan Hobbs said it. He was like, as long as everybody's still making games and we're still playing them and enjoying them, everything's all right?
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, like I said, and we all know this, it's Microsoft's company to do whatever they want. And, clearly they are listening to what the people are saying. They did not come up with this idea on their own. They clearly are looking at focus tests, looking at some sort of data that says this is what we need to do, and they're doing it. So
well, I look forward to E3 in a couple of weeks. We'll probably do an E3 either meet up on Google Hangouts or we'll definitely do a podcast, but we'll see what we can do as the days lead up to probably, I mean, if you consider hardware launches and hardware reveals to be big, sure, last year was big, but now it's game time. Like, come June 9th, it goes Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo in that order, right? And, I mean, Nintendo has no stage presence anymore. It's all online, which was expected, but it's a big year. It's a huge year for games. We're finally going to see games that we were only teased with last year.
I want to be surprised a little too. I want some new shit that I didn't even know that was coming.
I think as people are getting comfortable with the hardware, we're going to see some new crazy shit.
I want to see something that they didn't even announce last year. I want something. I want to see Fallout. Bring me the Fallout.
Didn't Titanfall get announced at last year's E3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you want to talk about something that in less than a year changed, games in a huge way.
Right.
Titanfall did a lot of things in between June, whatever, last year, early June last year, and March this year.
I'm very much looking forward to Sunset Overdrive, maybe some more announcements from them, but they've been revealing stuff over the past couple of weeks as well. And I have to say, I know friends that only have PS4s right now that are like, Sunset Overdrive is looking pretty sick. Maybe that $100 price drop will get them that game and a Kinectless Xbox.
Yeah.
But God, that game looks great, right? Greg and I were watching videos before we actually jumped on the podcast. What did you think, Greg?
It looks fun. It reminds me of what did I say? Jet Grind Radio a little bit.
Man.
The way it looks.
Jet Grind.
And it looks like it'd be fun. I'm always afraid with games like that they're gonna get old in a week. They're gonna get bored of them. You're gonna see a lot of the same thing, like same buildings, the same cars, the same people, the same enemies over and over again until it's like not interesting anymore because they don't really tell.
That's the bane of an open world game.
They just don't tell. Well, no, because the thing is, if there's a story there, you're always like Fallout. I'll always go to Fallout or even Skyrim. There's a story. You're always looking for stories.
Right,
It's lots of different stories that don't even connect to anything. They're just individual stories happening in these worlds. And that's what keeps it interesting because you're always looking for the next story, one that you didn't find.
I don't know if that's going to be Sunset.
It's not going to be,
well,
exactly.
I mean, Insomniac isn't particularly great storytellers, but they are at least create intriguing worlds,
Right.
There's mixed reviews about the Resistance series, but yeah.
That's like Borderlands for me. Borderlands is an interesting world. The story is whatever. The worlds are just so interesting. It keeps you in there. So it could be that. It could have that. But, I always worry about the open world games because it seems like there's a lot of them now. They just keep coming. And,
I'm excited. Well, they did Ratchet and Clank, right?
Yeah, they did Ratchet and Clank.
So I'm excited to see the chaotic traversal and speed of this game. If you mix that with this aesthetic, the Jet Grind Radio, textureless, very clean, a lot of particle effects flying all over the place, and you can see they're getting comfortable in their own skin with next gen, and I'm pumped to see that stuff. So looks cool. But we'll do our E3 cast or whatever at some point before E3, hopefully. Other than that, I think that's it for news and E3 and all the fun shit. I said shit.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So, Greg, on a final note, I want to talk about how's your grape diet going?
So, John pointed out to me before we started this podcast that I come up with a lot of weird diets. I make up my own diets.
He makes up his own diets because Greg's a guy that likes systems, but he likes his systems.
Yeah, I kind of make up my own systems for things, and sometimes they work. Here's the thing with my diets: I always have new ones, and they always last about 2 weeks.
And he picks a specific food usually.
Yeah, it's usually like 2 foods, and that's all I'll eat. Right now, my new diet is coffee, grapes, and sushi.
Right, so you obviously have your food groups.
Yeah,
right?
that's it. It's all it's not nothing. It's all. I try to look at it like the way a health person would. I don't know what this means, but it's all raw. It's all raw.
It's all raw.
Do you
So
eat? Like,
it's natural.
You're talking like one roll a day?
I don't eat rolls because of the rice. But I mean, I do eat. I usually eat sashimi. Sometimes I'll get just pieces of sushi. Usually it's like I get 8 pieces of sushi. I try not to eat all the rice. The rice is just empty calories. So.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
I read that online somewhere. So what I do is I wake up, I go to work, I get a coffee, a 200-calorie coffee, and I get a 1.5 pounds of green and red grapes from the little market guy.
Where do you put the grapes? Do you put them in your bag? Like, how do you?
No, I just walk with he gives me a bag and I bring them to work and I sit on my desk and I just honestly, because my big thing is I just need to eat all day. Like I need to pick at food.
Right.
Grapes are pretty low calorie and they're sweet and I need something sweet. Usually I just eat tons of fucking candy. I eat candy all the time and I've, for the past week and a half, 0 candy.
You're a Three Musketeers guy. Like.
Yeah. I feel good though. I feel really energized naturally without the candy and it's wonderful. So I just pop grapes till like 1, 2 o'clock. I just eat grapes all day and then I'll go for some sushi. And then usually I don't eat at night. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I get more sushi when I come home, or I'll eat fruit. And that's my diet right now. And I run on my bike. And I need to find other things to eat right now because I'm getting a little sick of grapes and sushi
and coffee.
I'm kind of starving right now.
Bro, that mixture sounds so disgusting.
I also actually, you know what? I forgot to add in that I also will get, if I'm really hungry at night, I'll get shrimp and broccoli from the Chinese place.
Steamed.
Yeah, it's steamed. It's good. And honestly, it's mostly broccoli. They're pretty cheap over there with the shrimp. They give me like 6 shrimp and like a 1.5 pounds of broccoli.
I think a lot of Chinese places are cheap with the shrimp.
Yeah,
shrimp's
but I'm kind of okay with that in this situation because the broccoli, it's in that the sauce is sugary. It's like a garlicky kind of sugary sauce. I know it's not good for me.
So how do you justify it in your head?
I look it up and according to a lot of websites, I look at a couple different websites. It's about between 500 and 700 calories for me to eat that.
Okay, and what time at night do you eat that?
It's about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's not bad because then I'll ride my bike usually and I'll burn that much calories. So. I honestly, at the end of the day, maybe 1,000 calories, and I'm allowed to eat 2,300. So,
all right. So right now, the current Gregg D diet. What's the name of your diet, Gregg?
It's the raw food diet.
It's called the. That sounds legitimate.
No, I like that. The raw food diet.
But coffee.
It's raw.
Coffee.
I forgot to tell my coffee. I'm just chewing on coffee beans.
Oh yeah.
Raw coffee beans.
It's all raw. And the shrimp. You're eating raw shrimp.
No, they're cooked. Raw diet sounds like a real diet.
Yeah, it does. You have to,
Yeah.
I'll give you a second to come up with a name. Go ahead.
It's easy. No, I'm not gonna. That's it. It's the raw diet, or it's
the raw diet.
The raw. You have to make it your own though. You gotta be like, yo, it's the raw Gregg. The Gregg raw.
The grape sushi. The grape sushi caffeine diet.
Grape sushi caffeine. It flows off the tongue.
You say grape like it would be great. It's like a pun. The grape sushi caffeine diet.
You get those. No, it's GSC. The GSC diet.
Yeah.
Like the grape escape, right? Like the grape escape.
The grape escape. Okay. I like GSC. That's good. The GSC diet.
That works for me.
And let me tell you why this works.
Oh.
I want people to do this diet because
I was about to do the outro.
I just want them to try this. When people who have a problem just eating because of boredom, because that's what my problem is, and because I love food, but buy grapes. Buy fruit because it's sweet. I mean, there's sugar in it still, but it's better than eating shit. Buy a fucking pound of grapes in the morning and see how long that lasts you and see how you feel good. It's good for your digestive system and it tastes good. You got to do it. The GSC diet.
I eat a lot of grapes, but I'm not jumping on that diet.
Sushi and grapes and caffeine. That's the way to do it. Listen to me. I'm amped up right now. This is all grapes talking.
We're also on the website right now. If you want to go to AwayCast.com, you can get sweatbands, GSC diet. You can also get
kettlebells, brain medicine,
battle ropes, anything you guys need. So, with that being said, Josh, you have a fuckload of writing to do, so we're going to say goodbye to Joshua Hankey, right? Thanks again for hanging out with us this week.
Thank you, Mr. Hankey. Mr. Hankey.
Let's play some video games together. Titanfall tomorrow if you have time, or I can't wait to play Super Time Force tonight. I'm pretty pumped.
Yeah.
I'm jacked about Super Time Force.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Thanks for hanging out, bruh.
All right, later, guys.
Later,
Josh.
Gregg.
Yeah.
Thanks for telling us all about your diet. I really appreciate it.
It's okay.
And have fun playing through KRZ again.
Yeah, I will.
Right, big notebooks.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out this week. AwayCast.com. Follow us. Well, follow me. I kind of changed Sorry, Gregg. I changed the Twitter to be more about me. I got a little vain about it. The Twitter account is now John Azalona, but it's still at theawaycast.com. So feel free to follow. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.
Do
for me. Says she lives for motivation. Who won't motivation? She comes round and she goes down on me. And I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you wanna do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through.